normal females going for $1 a gram.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
$1,000 gram females, $1,000 normal. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like,
Yep.
and that, you know, dude, that's why people need to appreciate where this hobby was at one point before it is now,
Yep.
you know, but that's why it's like, bro, even with what's available now, all the podcasts, all the social media accounts, all the YouTube channels, all that shit, and all the money that you could put in to try to cut corners, you still got to put your time in. Like, it's like, no matter how much you want to rush it, you could come out, you could come your first year and breed the sickest shit, but how are you going to sell all your shit at the market value that people are selling it with no name, with no fucking credibility? You know what I mean? Like, it's not that easy, you know? And
it really isn't. Yeah.
You know,
it was a hard time. It was like, but you know, you keep going, you keep pushing through, you keep hustling, and eventually you get all right. You found me. So 12 years later, I got MJ.
No, bro. Like I said, you were highly recommended. You didn't come. Check it out. You want to know who recommended you? Somebody that I look up to in this game, and somebody who's killing it and is fuck. And that's my boy right here.
Oh yeah,
Jonathan from Golden Boy Reptiles. What is good player? But he was like kind of the nail in the coffin. I had a couple people recommend you, and then when he recommended you, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna scoot this guy up to this week and see if he's down. And sure enough, here you are, man. And what's crazy, like I said, June, is as I looked further into like what, you know, I was kind of dipping into what you were making, and I was like, damn, this was some crazy clown shit. I didn't see that super GHI shit until you posted it. So that's definitely a project we're gonna talk about a little deeper into the podcast. But okay, anyway, so let's go back. So about 22 years old. So about 11 years ago. This is like 11 years ago. What were you doing back then for work? What were you doing for money?
Back then, I was working at a bank. So I hated that. I hated it. I hated dealing with people's money. And then what happened then? Then pretty much, I moved on from the bank. And then I started at Air Canada. I started a baggage handler, right? Wasn't making a lot of money there as a baggage handler. So obviously the snakes really kept me afloat at that point. But now I'm still with Air Canada. I'm a manager for them now. So.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So you still have a 9-to-5?
I do. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Where we at as far as like you maybe, you know, do you have the goal of not having a 9-to-5 at some point, or what are your goals with that?
I think that's everybody's dream, you know, like everybody wants to do this full time. Thankfully, I'm blessed with this job where I work 4 on, 4 off. I'm working the 4 days on are long ass days, 12-hour days, but that's a blessing to have 4 days off to come back to the collection and, you know, do what I got to do. So everything's working really well now. I think even if I took this full time, I could still have that. But then I'd be dead. I'd be dead. But
okay. All right. Yeah. Because I mean, let's talk about your production this year. How many clutches have you because we're approaching the end of the year. We're in November.
Yeah.
So how many clutches have you had this year so far?
So I think I closed out at 23 clutches this year.
Cool.
Yeah. So I don't really aim for more than 30 ever in a year. I do this all solo, right? It's a small, humble room and whatever, but anything more than 30 clutches is just it. You don't want to burn out. That's the biggest thing, right? Like everybody's aiming for the 60, 70 clutches and they're alone. I don't know how the hell they're doing it when they have a job. I have 3 kids as well, right? So they're keeping me busy. Anything more than that, I'd be burned out. I felt the feeling of being burned out like 1 year and I hated it. I almost want to just dump the whole collection. I'm like, I'm done. Like I'm freaking tired. Like, and
if you are doing a fucking, like, you know, I was in management, I ran a gym and then I worked in a retail store. Like I worked as a general manager and then that's when I was burning out. Like, you know what I mean? Because like my addiction was just starting, but I was not stopping. Like I was getting into more species and like literally I was working fucking 10, 12, sometimes 14-hour day. Like I was really demanded at work a lot. You know what I mean? And I was doing everything I can to maintain everything I had going on over here. But bro, I don't know, man. Like you come to a point, you come to a fork in the road, and it's either you chill and maintain so you can keep your job sane and doable, or you fucking, figure out what you got to do to fucking go all in on the animals. But then that's like such a crazy leap to take. Like it's not.
It is like
it's something that just doesn't happen. Definitely over the course of a couple years.
But I don't know if it's a real division is either personal job or hobby. Like there's definitely a balance that you can find. You just have to find the number of clutches and the amount of animals that you can really handle, right? A lot of people I'm seeing, like especially getting into it the last couple of years, their collections are going from 0 to fucking 200 in a year. I'm like, dudes, like wait till you start having babies. Like they're gonna be overwhelmed. Thankfully, like the dudes that you had on Gen Z, like there's 2 of them, so they can handle it, right? So they're growing pretty fast as well. I checked out their stuff and I'm really impressed, right? They're gonna be big. But
for sure,
somebody doing it solo, like it's really easy to burn out, and you don't even realize you're getting burned out until you're upstairs one day and you're just like, I don't even want to look at the snake room today. Like you can't even go in there. You just feel sick, right? So it's rough.
And that's like, you know, if people are out there like thinking like that's never going to be me, well, then you're never going to be at that level that we're talking about. Like it's
exactly,
just, like,
exactly.
Like there's definitely levels to this shit, and the more you want, the more fucking the load is on your plate. You know what I mean? And what's crazy is motherfuckers don't know that until babies start coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then you have a wall full of fucking things that need to eat, and you're just like, oh shit, you know, like you got everything done, everything's clean, and you're like, you got that one wall. You know what I mean? And
it's crazy,
honestly, bro. I mean, I don't think I'm near that capacity of ball pythons to where I have to worry about being like fuck, this is too much, because the ball pythons I have a pretty good system. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give or take. Look, this year I'm going for about 15. Like I'm got my 14th ovulation, about to get my 15th. You know, so I should have about 15 clutches this year. But I did have my first ball python roll on me, like my first hatchling, like come out of the egg. Have its first shed, and then it ate and then rolled. Like, and that was weird, you know.
I hate that.
I was like, what are you gonna do? It happens, you know. But I get it that like I get as the numbers go up, shit like that will happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I see myself personally enjoying things at a capacity of 50 clutches, because like all I do is invest everything in the podcast, my YouTube channel, and then, you know, whatever I make off the ball pythons, you know. So I think 50 is manageable, where I don't have to fucking, you know, shoot myself in the head before I walk into the snake room or anything. And something my wife can handle too, because, you know, I don't know, man. It's at the end of the day, it's so important. You got to keep this shit fun, you know, like
you do,
because that's what keeps you young at heart. You know what I mean? The reason what drew me to this was because how young it made me feel. Like, made me feel like a kid, you know, and it was my escape from like all the being adult shit that I have to worry about, you know?
Yep. Like you as well, like it's not just the ball pythons. You were saying that, you know, I don't have that many ball pythons to get to that burned out level, but we both keep multiple species. I keep a bunch of species as well. I don't know if you rolled through my feed already, but like I'm from different species of pythons. I got some boa, I have monitors, lychees. So we're working with a lot. I have some chondros as well. I know you're a big chondro guy, so demands pristine quality, right?
I feel like an asshole. Well, okay, hold on. Wait, hold on, bro. You post a lot of ball pythons, though, bro.
A lot of ball pythons.
Bro. This is not my fault.
Ball pythons are my heart and passion. That's the biggest thing.
Right. That's what makes the world go round, for sure. Ball pythons. Without ball pythons, none of this would be possible.
Exactly. I'm guilty for posting a lot of cool stuff in story and whatever. So it's gone the next day. So yeah.
Some sick shit, bro. Like we're gonna tap into your Instagram account here in just a second, but I definitely want to. You intrigued my interest with the whole you working with multiple species, because you know, are these species also the investment side of things, or is this more of like the passion side, or like what, you know, I want to know about the monitors and you know, the green trees, everything else.
So yeah, it's I don't want to say, okay, I'll say it. I do get bored quick. Pythons are amazing. You get all the colors, but you keep some pretty cool shit, like your scrubs and everything. Those animals are gonna move. Retics as well. They keep you intrigued almost, right? They have the higher intelligence. So I don't want to say use the word bored, but I need to get other shit to keep me more interested, right? Keeps it interesting, keeps it fun. So it started with I added some blood pythons. So I work with blood python, short tail pythons. Nice. I saw that you got some as well. Amazing. So I work with them. I work with Angolan pythons. I just got my first clutch from those this year.
Yeah.
Amazing species. If you haven't ever held them or worked with them, they're freaking cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, what else I got? Yeah, the
So
pair
the
of
short, so the
chondros.
short. So how long ago did you start getting into short tails? I'm curious. Thank you for watching this week's Trap Talk clip. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, drop me a comment, and if you're looking for exclusive, non-release content here on YouTube, you're going to want to go down to the link and join the Trap Talk Patreon family. Once you become a part of the Patreon family, you get a link to the Discord, and then you also get tapped into all unreleased content. Thank you so much for all the love and support, and I'll catch you guys here next week. Cheers!